Hello and welcome to sunny McKellar Park here in Australia's capital. It's the sun is certainly shining for this afternoon's contest, and this afternoon's contest promises to be an intriguing one between two sides in a critical part of their season. For Canberra United, they're hoping to get their season back on track after suffering a 5-0 loss against bottom of the table Wellington Phoenix. They'll be hoping to recapture the form that saw them defeat Newcastle Jets 5-1 and make a push for the finals. And for their opponents this afternoon, Western United, this will be their first game in the Liberty A-League without American international and World Cup winner Jess McDonald. So there'll be so many players needing to step up to fill the shoes of Jess McDonald and see if they can get their side continuing that winning form that they've had all season, as we see both sides walking out. And Negos Popovic makes 3 changes to his starting 11 that faced Wellington Phoenix last weekend, with Nicky Flannery and Alan Gett being rested with minor niggles. Emma Iliofsky and Grace Marr come into the starting 11. Kennedy Faulkner also starts after coming off the bench last week. Grace Charlet is also on the bench this afternoon. And for Mark Torcaso, he's made 3 changes to his starting 11 as well. With Jess McDonald's departure, Canadian Danielle Steer comes into the starting 11. Angie Beard and club captain Jacqueline Savitsky both make their first start in the Liberty A-League this season. Emma Robers is also on the bench this afternoon after starting last week, and Alex Sinclair is also on the bench. So we have a look at Negos Popovic. He'll be needing his side to really bounce back after that devastating loss to Wellington Phoenix. Don't think many people expected that performance from his side, but he'll be really wanting a big lift and push from them. And this afternoon I'm joined by none other than dub legend Teresa Police. Teresa, this contest extremely important for both sides, but which team do you think it's more important to get that win this afternoon?
Thanks for the warm welcome, Pakua. Yeah, really great game ahead of us today. And look, it's a big game for both teams. I think there's more on the line for Canberra in terms of keeping in touch with the top 4. They really need the 3 points. But you know what? Western United have treated every single game with such high importance, and they've got Sydney FC and Melbourne City hot on their tails, so they'll want to stay ahead of the pack.
They really will need to do that. And for both teams here, had such different seasons. A lot of people would have expected Western United to maybe be in that middle pack and maybe closest to the bottom of the table, but they've really surprised a lot of people this season. Top of the table, only lost 1 game to Western Sydney. Can they keep the good times rolling with Jess McDonald gone? Well, Mark Torcaso believes in his side and he believes in his squad. And we see Chinese international Sheng Shu Wu. She had a great start in her return. Teresa, you were there, you saw that game. But it wasn't a great last week as we get underway here. It wasn't as great last week. But how important is a player like her for this side?
Sheng Shu is a fabulous player. And yeah, like you said, a couple of weeks ago, I watched co-commentated the Canberra game with yourself, and they were fantastic. So last week's loss was a huge surprise. So Canberra will really be looking to bounce back from that.
As Taranto gets us underway, plays that ball forward to Hannah Keane. Got options in the middle, but she keeps that one-on-one with Kennedy Faulkner. Hannah Keane still going. And the touchline, going across the goal line. The goal. And that ball's come out. Canberra, opportunity to get away. Grace March playing it forward, goes out for a throw into a dangerous bit of attack there from Hannah Keane. Such an important player for Western United.
So important. She's been dangerous in every single game, and that dribble she just did there is no different to what she's producing every game and getting that cross in. Yeah, it was really tenacious, that effort there, and she actually leads her team in dribbles this season, so we'll see plenty of that today.
Hannah Keane on the ball, tried to play that ball through to Vlanic. Hannah Keane still got possession of the ball. Mal Taranto plays that back to Sydney Cummings.
And given the heat today, Pakua, I think, you know, the message is to really, take care in possession and not give away unnecessary possession. So it looks like Western United are really trying to be calm on the ball and not give it away too easily.
Sydney Cummings making her way forward. That ball's played out wide. Got Hannah Keane in the middle. Good run there by Angie Beard. And as we see, Danielle Steer knock that into the back of the net. And 1-0 to Western United. That chance created out of nothing. And great run by Angie Beard out there to cross that in. And Danielle Steer gets her first goal in the competition.
It just seemed like Canberra were caught off guard there. They had a cross in and Danielle Steer just wanted it more. And Canberra sort of were just looking around in a way.
Certainly was. We take a look at that. And Angie Beard, great cross. And Danielle Steer just the first to be alert to it. As we see Emily Ilioski just caught flat-footed and didn't make the necessary movements. And that Chloe Lincoln just, there was ball right behind her. It's obviously the first time that Western United have faced Canberra, and also the first time they've been at McKellar Park, as this ball's played forward through to Cheng Shui Wu. Cheng Shui Wu cut through in. Good defensive work, and that ball's come all the way back to Kennedy Faulkner, near the halfway line. Iliovsky plays that ball forward. That ball's laid down, and Vesna Milivojevic, her first shot this afternoon, goes wide of the goals.
Much better play here from Canberra. Got the cross in, and Michelle Heyman opts to lay off Milivojevic. Could she have brought it down and turned and shot? She's really good at doing that, but perhaps, you know, the confidence is building again from last week, and she opted to lay it off for Milivojevic. But that's much better from Canberra. When they start to distribute the ball, you know, from left to right quickly, it really works well for them.
Now arriving as Adriana Taranto comes, but some great defensive work there by Canberra. That ball's tried to be played forward for Taylor Young, but too much on it.
Yeah, really, really good work there from Laura Hughes, working hard to get back and win an important ball for Canberra United then.
So that ball's laid forward for Adriana Taranto. Mel Taranto scores that, sorry. A great goal for Western United. And they make it 2-0 this afternoon. A great goal for Mel Taranto.
Once again, Canberra United caught off guard and not, you know, coming to the party in terms of the battle there. An easy, you know, lay down there by Danielle Steer for Mel Taranto to finish it to the keeper's right. Fantastic finish. And she just had so much time then to control the ball and pick her side. So, yeah, Canberra United far too slow to react then.
Iliovsky tries to cross in Cheng Shui Wu, but that ball's found its way back to Hughes. Cheng Shui Wu keeps possession. Michelle Heyman, long-range effort, but always too high over that crossbar. And Michelle Heyman, I wouldn't doubt her ability to score from anywhere on the park. If there's someone who'll do it, it's certainly her.
Yeah, it was a good little layoff there by Cheng Shui Wu.
In a game like this, when it is so hot, are you wanting to get out really quickly and get that lead, or are you just trying to conserve your energy and really make one big push as you know, later into the game?
Great question, Puku, and I guess it depends on each team's own tactics, but you know, you're wanting to score early, in my view. You go out.
That ball's given away to Hannah Keane, taking a shot early, and that ball's found the back of the net. And of course, Hannah Keane gets a score sheet, but it looks like that ball was just given away. Given away, and it just seems so sudden. Everybody in Canberra is just a bit shocked by that.
Here it is, and yeah, just a misguided pass then from Sasha Grove, lands to the last person you want it to land to. Hannah Keane turns beautifully and really picks where she wants to put the ball, and it was actually a great finish.
Just have a look at Negos Popovic. What is going on through his mind at the moment? Obviously, halftime is nearing, but what does he have to do? Does he change something now, or wait? Does he wait till halftime to make those changes?
Look, I think there's a bit of everything happening for Canberra. I think tactically there's a few tweaks he needs to make. But the biggest, issue is attitude and desire today. And I think their heads are down, and really the main key is picking up his players and, getting them in. There's still a while to go before half-time. So they need their leaders to step up.
Cheng Shu makes her way forward, plays it to Michelle Heyman, takes a touch to her side. Michelle Heyman, and great save from Hilary Beale. She almost made it through that crowd and got her side back in this contest, but Hilary Beale was alert to it.
Well, if there's anyone that can get them back, it's Michelle Heyman. Here she is. It's landed to her, and she's taken the touch away. She took that extra touch. I'm just not sure whether she should have shot a bit earlier, but that was a good opportunity for Canberra. And if anyone can get him out of this rut, it's Michelle Heyman.
Mel Taranto plays that ball forward to Hannah Keane. Caught on the wrong side, but she's still got possession of it. It goes through the legs of Chloe Lincoln, and Hannah Keane gets her second of the afternoon. She got on the wrong side of Ellie Brush there and went straight through the legs of Chloe Lincoln.
Hannah Keane, one-on-one battle, unstoppable. What a finish.
And very impressive from Western United this afternoon. 4th shot on target, 4th goal. And Mark Torcaso, I don't think he could have asked for much more as we take a look at this goal again.
Here she goes. Look, it was a shoulder-to-shoulder battle there between the very experienced Ellie Brush and Hannah Keane, and Hannah Keane just comes up, trumps that balance, that tenacity, and then to finish through the legs of Chloe Lincoln, incredible. We mentioned her contention towards the Julie Dolan Award, and I mean, this speaks for itself. How can we not include her in that talk?
Taranto. Vlanich got Keane in the middle. Still got the ball there. Bit of a tug there from Grove. And that ball goes out for a corner.
Once again, down that left side, Western United getting a lot of joy. So come half-time, will Canberra make a few tweaks, Pakua?
They could potentially have some options with the likes of Grace Jarley on the bench. Just have a look at this again. Vlanich, just a really good physical contest with her into her side corner, and that ball's played short to Vlanich. Plays it through, and Chloe Lincoln loses it, and it's gone in for a goal. Western United, that ball's been fumbled and not dealt with by Chloe Lincoln, and it's gone into the back of the net.
Canberra really struggling to deal with that ball that comes back in, the crosses in, they are not dealing with them. And a bit of a fumble there from Chloe Lincoln, lands straight at the feet of Sydney Cummings, and I'm not sure if it landed over the line.
Not quite sure if it did go over the line initially, but Sydney Cummings made sure it was in the back of the net and cleared by Taylor Young. And half-time here at McKellar Park, and a half that Canberra United would certainly like to forget. Danielle Steer got us underway with the first goal, courtesy of an Angie Beard cross, and then Mel Taranto put in the second, and it just kept getting worse and worse for Canberra United. And there's Canberra United 0, Western United 5. As we see some changes made for both sides, as Sasha Grove goes off for Sophia Christopherson, and for Western United, Danielle Steer's gone off for Carly Johnson, and Emma Robers has also come on. As Jacqueline Savisky, who made her first start this competition, she's gone off for Emma Robers as Canberra United get us underway.
And we saw before the half started, Canberra United doing some short sprints on the sideline. And, you know, on such a hot day, it's normally what teams do when it's sort of cold weather, but I'm guessing that's just to get their energy up and get them ready for the half and hopefully come out with much more intent than that first half.
See, Taylor Young here on the ball, and for Canberra United. Been in the dub for so long. They're very close to one of their biggest losses in the competition. The biggest loss being a 6-0 defeat to Sydney FC back in 2022. And they've also lost 6-1 to Sydney FC in 2017. Will it be a historic defeat, or can Canberra just get to claw their way back in as Taylor Young makes a cross into the box? And that ball, so this is our first look at Carly Johnson. Playing that forward to Hannah King. Can she get there first? Certainly can. Beats Ilioski to the ball, and she holds the ball up nicely to Rovers. Angie Beard. She's got Carly Johnson short. She uses her, but great defensive work. But that ball's found its way back to Angie Beard with some really fancy footwork. Just cuts it across. Dealt with by Chloe Lincoln. So that ball goes out for another corner. Really good pressure from Western United in these early moments of the second half.
Yeah, here's some nifty creative play from Angie Beard. And she gets a bit of a weak shot away, but yeah, fumbled by Chloe Lincoln, and Canberra concede another corner.
Just a little bit of a cheeky nutmeg on Taylor Young. Heyman just come really deep to collect it. It's not where you want her position if you're trying to make a comeback in this game. That ball's found. Canberra is back to Michelle Heyman. Tries to take a long-range effort, but blocked by Mel Taranto. Carly Johnson poked it on, but free kick, and free kick is for West United.
And you mentioned the record losses for Canberra, and I was involved in one of those back at Lambert Park, and it was a 6-1 result, as we mentioned before. And funnily enough, who messages me? Daniel Barrett, our coach at the time, and he's pretty sure that we scored off 2 of my set pieces. So there you go.
Hey, look at that, Teresa. You are constantly involved in all things Sydney FC, as that ball bobbles around, and a strike there from Vesna Milivojevic, but safely into the hands of Hilary Beale, who was alert to it.
Great to hear from Dan, and great to see he's still watching the games.
So Christopherson made that run forward and not dealt with there by Alana Sona. That allowed that ball to bubble around, and Vesna Milivojevic took a swing at that. Western United make another substitution as Natasha Dakic comes on for Carly Johnson, who also just came on in the second half. So another interesting sub-on, sub-off situation, one for each team. So Natasha Dakic been in and out of this side for this season, but it's good to see her on the field.
Yeah, no player ever wants to get subbed on and then off, but I think there's a bit more to it in both instances, and I'd yeah, be happy to find out a bit more about that after the game.
See Cheng Shu Wu there, and Robers tries to play through, but a lazy pass, and lucky for her, Si's able to regain possession very quickly. See Adriana Taranto play that forward nicely into the path of Alex Sinclair. Can she get it before it goes out, and just rolls out of play before she's able to get on the end of that.
And Western United, they've got a good balance of game management and still going at it, you know, against Canberra here. And they're keeping the ball when they need to, and then if there's an opportunity that they feel like they can go forward and score, they're finding it and they're going for it. Yeah, it's incredible stuff, and they deserve every bit of success that they get. And it goes to show that, you know, reputations aren't everything, and if you have that belief, you know, you can achieve anything. So hat off to Western United.
Cheng Shu Wu is fouled there as we get yellow card. I think it might be the first one this afternoon.
Certainly is. We had a ball into Cheng Shu Wu from Kennedy Faulkner, and yeah, it was an unnecessary clip.
Knew it straight away. Put her hand up for that one.
And it's just an unnecessary one where, you know, at this point in the game, you just don't need that.
As Vesna Milivojevic and Grace Maher stand over this ball. Some tall options. Milivojevic just goes for it herself, but too much on that. And that ball's gone out of McKellar Park and probably into the car park or the road. There.
Yeah, look, it pretty much sums up Canberra's afternoon. And, you know, there were a couple passes just before that went astray. And it's not been there a couple weeks, really. They really need to, you know, go back this week and turn things around.
And for Canberra, is it, as we see, 19 shots for Western United to Canberra's 13, but that doesn't really matter. The one that really does matter is the 5 goals for Western United and none for Canberra. And for Teresa, for a side like Canberra, is it a case of a players-only chat to really reevaluate what's going on, to find out what the problems are?
Yeah, I mean, that could be an answer, and I've certainly been part of teams where we've had players' chats depending on situations, and we don't know, you know, internally what's going on at Canberra United, but, you know, the state they're in at the moment, they might need a players-only chat.
Just Alex Sinclair plays that forward to Hannah Keane, but too much on it and too far away, but can Hannah Keane get it before it goes out of play? She certainly can, and she lays it off for Taylor Vlanic. Just played it into Adriana Taranto. To Keane. As Adriana Taranto is just down. Got a bit of contact on her ankle. As Canberra United make one last push before full time. Vesna Milivojevic tries to play that into the path of Chloe Middleton, but Medwin and Dakic blocked her path. And some Canberra fans calling for the free kick there.
And how good has Medwin been? I mean, that was a pretty good ball in behind from Milivojevic, but Western United read the cues. They dropped early and, you know, no threat. But brilliantly read the play there, Amy Medwin.
Some real standout players for Western United this afternoon. Have all done their job almost perfectly. I don't know if there is a such thing as a perfect game in football, but almost a perfect team performance. It's full time here at McKellar Park, and Western United comfortably dispatch of Canberra United, who are in all sorts, suffering their second 5-0 defeats in just 2 weeks. As we see Adriana Taranto on the ground there, but for Western United, top of the table, living their great season, and Canberra United 0, Western United 5.